How y'all doing today? My name's Ayin, and today's topic of discussion is I'm done. Removal versus resentment. I'm done. Removal versus resentment. Now, what I'm thinking about when I'm thinking about this topic of I'm being done, this is where some sort of conflict has arisen and you're upset. You're like, hey, look, I'm done. I'm done with this. You know, we're just going to go separate ways, whether it's a relationship, a loved one, whatever the case may be. And you're just like, usually when you depart, you're departing out of anger, things being said, or some sort of conflict. Removal versus resentment. Now, we've talked about on here how when you're reevaluating relationships, there's a lot of different levels to that. There's a certain delicacy in dealing with relationships. And one of the things that you may have heard me say before, if you've been following this channel long enough and seen some of the things I've said from other videos, sometimes I may have to place people in my life from being in this portion of my life to this portion of my life. I'm not confusing this or saying that you write people off. But it's a difference between removal and resentment. The difference is when you're parting ways, you're like, I'm done. You know, we're through with this. That leads to resentment. When I'm done and you're severing your connection on a bad note, that's what leads to resentment. Because the last thing that you have, that memory of interacting with that person is whatever altercation took place. And that festers and it builds up and for lack of a better word, it causes resentment. Now, when you're removing a person from within a particular portion of your life to say another portion of your life, like, okay, instead of being in this innermost circle, maybe I'll just place you out here and maybe I'll really watch out of the interactions that we have with one another. I'll watch the time that we interact with one another. The amount of times that I decide to engage with you, let you have some breathing room. Let me have some breathing room. Maybe you have some things to work out. Maybe I have some things to work out. This way, you're not outright cutting a person off. You can kind of evaluate what's going on. And I know what you're thinking. You have some people who are, that's still not enough. It only fans the flames. They get more riled up. Okay, well, maybe I need to place you from this circle over here to this circle. See, the objective of this video, the point of what I'm making is, it's so you can be a healthier you. See, this person, whoever you're dealing with, they've done and chosen the position that they decided to play. You can only control you. You can only control you. And removal versus resentment, opposed to you putting the person down, hey, I'm done. And you're leaving it on a bad note of, giving them a piece of your mind or saying something that's discouraging or tearing them down. And you're going, because it feels good in that moment, but you're going off and it's festering. No, that's not really upbuilding to you as well. It's certainly not upbuilding to them, but it's definitely not healthy for you because you're not letting it rest on that altercation that you just had. You're thinking about it. Now we have this enmity between the both of us. Can't share the same space, or it's just something lurking, waiting to come up to be dealt with down the road anyway. So why not deal with it in a healthy manner from the onset? Okay, you're not respectful of my time and the things that I'm sharing. Man, okay, well, maybe I'm not going to share as much time. Because, since this is really not upbuilding for me and I'm really trying to work on healthier things for doing the things that I want to do up off in my life, your attention is going to be diverted elsewhere. So you have less time to give to those things. Now, if we're working on something, we're trying to repair something, that's a completely different scenario. But if we're not working towards doing better and we're just existing for the sake of existing, then that's something that we need to have a conversation about. That's all I'm saying. Removal versus resentment. Removal removing a person from a certain portion up off in your life, a certain position in your life to another position. Maybe they don't play the key role up off in your life. Maybe you need to set them over here, and while you're focusing on beating down those goals, swallowing up those successes. I'll leave you over here. You can do whatever you want with your time because it's your time. Me and you, on the time that we were sharing, we had that time. You had that opportunity. Oh, okay, you're ready to talk. You're ready to do this in a constructive way now. Okay, well, I can put you back over here. That's the difference between removal versus resentment. Just wanted to take time out to discuss that today. In the meantime, if you hadn't, click that subscribe button. Follow me on other social media. I am Kilimanjaro on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram. If you have questions, send those in. I'll answer those as well in a video. In the meantime, stay encouraged, avoid being discouraged. I'm Aim. You have a good one.